This is Samsung Galaxy S23 versus Pixel 9. We're starting with the audio test of these two phones. On Samsung Galaxy S23, we have a triple camera setup, 50 megapixel main, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 10 megapixel telephoto. While on Google Pixel 9, you have dual camera setup, 50 megapixel main, and 48 megapixel ultra wide. So I think that's it for the audio test. Another quick look on the main sensor. This is Google Pixel 9 with the speech enhancement on. Now let's check some portrait shots. Starting with the portrait mode, the older Galaxy S23 is warmer than the latest Pixel 9. Also, if you look on the facial features, you have more details on Galaxy S23 and smoother and beautified on Pixel 9. In terms of usable focal lengths, we have 24mm portrait shot on Galaxy S23, and it's a little bit punched in at 1.5x around 40mm on Pixel 9. They both have the same 2x around 50mm, but I like the wider field of view on Samsung Galaxy S23. Checking the edge detection, I feel like Pixel is now competing with some of the flagship phones, but still, Samsung Galaxies together with iPhones are still two of the better ones out there. More inviting and contrasty look on the older Samsung, and you have a well-balanced natural look on the latest Pixel. We got 1x, 2x, and 3x on Galaxy S23, and we have 1.5x and 2x on the latest Pixel 9. This is the selfie video recording on Samsung Galaxy S23 and Pixel 9, both shooting in UHD 60 FPS. I think the biggest difference here is the portrait mode or the portrait video on Samsung Galaxy S23. Let's check this out. This is the biggest difference in the video recording. You got portrait video on the selfie video of Galaxy S23. There's no mode like this on Pixel 9, but the good thing here is we both have video blurs on these two phones using the rear camera. The only difference is the resolution, only Full HD on Pixel 9 and 4K on S23. We got a really nice selfie on Pixel 9. I like the contrast and the colors. A little bit washed out on S23, but both of them is wide and extra wide field of view. In terms of image quality, you have more details on Galaxy S23 and smoother on Pixel 9. You would see a little bit of over-sharpening on the older S23, and the colors are a little bit vivid too, while you have an HDR looking photos on the latest Pixel. On my phone. We got a higher resolution 48 megapixel ultra wide on Pixel 9 and 12 megapixel on S23, almost the same main sensor, but the difference here is you have a dedicated 10 times megapixel 3 times telephoto on Galaxy S23. Pixel 9 can produce really detailed and natural looking macro, but you can also mimic this using the 3 times optical zoom of S23, more vivid and over sharpened. I think in general the color profile on S23 is more vivid and saturated than Pixel 9, and you have a neutral looking and cooler tone on the newest Google Pixel 9. I think this will be a matter of personal taste. Comes alive when you laugh. You have a better exposed image on Galaxy S23, but in terms of the sky, both phones are almost the same. Both phones has ultra wide and main, but only S23 has 3 times optical zoom and can go as far as 30 times. There's also a couple of differences on Samsung Galaxy S23. It has director's view, which you can see front and back on the video recording end. We also have the Pro Video, where you can change the focus, the white balance, the speed, and the ISO. This is the quick zoom test and stabilization test on both phones. We're starting with the ultra wide lens, 0.6 on Samsung Galaxy S23 and 5x, 0.5x on Pixel 9. We're wiggling the phones a little bit. So this is the stabilization. And look at the quality of the footage. Switching to the main sensor. This is what the quality looks like. And we're also doing a little bit of stabilization test by wiggling the phones. But the biggest difference is the 3x optical zoom of Galaxy S23. We only have digital zoom on Pixel 9. Again, a quick stabilization test. On the slow motion test, Galaxy S23 is super slow motion or Full HD 960 FPS, while you have 1/8 or Full HD 240 FPS on the latest Google Pixel 9. There's also a difference on night shot. You have a better exposed image on Galaxy S23 and stronger contrast on the shadows on Pixel 9. And generally, S23 will produce warmer photos compared to the Pixel competition. And like the regular images on daylight, you will see a little bit of over-sharpening on Galaxy S23, which is not a bad thing, and the older Samsung manages the highlights better. I also like that Pixel 9 was able to provide more information on darker areas of the images, and it also produces natural looking colors. I'm glad to tell you that you can shoot on any sensors on both phones, from the ultra-wide to the telephoto. This is the low-light video test of Pixel 9 versus Samsung Galaxy S23. We're using the ultra-wide lens in 4K 30 FPS on both phones. You can see there's a problem in the autofocus on Pixel 9 and a little bit noisy too. Now we're going to the main sensor, and Pixel 9 improves on the noise. But looking at the exposure, S23 is better exposed. Looking at the grass, again, better exposed on S23. And you have the 3x optical zoom versus digital crop on Pixel 9. So you will see better details on Galaxy S23. Again, you have the main sensor and the ultra-wide. If you enjoyed this video and you get the answer you need, don't forget to hit that like button. You can also subscribe to get more of these videos on your feed. Pixel 9 is superior in terms of image quality. It produces HDR looking photos with natural colors. It also offers automatic experience on the camera. You don't have to dial in any of the settings. And Google promises longer software support on the new Pixel phones. While in terms of portrait mode, the great edge detection and wider field of view, 8K video recording, dual recording, and pro video, together with better stabilization on video, 960 FPS slow motion, and better autofocus on night mode, I think even though S23 is the older model, it offers better features on the cameras.
Surrender, gonna surrender.